Rumbler Mater was one of my most anticipated Cars diecast releases of the year, simply because it was a new Mater variant from On the Road. After getting so many McQueens, I was getting really annoyed that the corresponding Maters weren't being released, so when I saw that we'd be getting Road Rumbler Mater, I got really excited. And then images for him surfaced online via a picture of him on the back of another car's packaging. And I was immediately turned off by this car's expression. His eyelids were way too light in color, and his pupils were so big they make an anime girl look like a Charlie Brown character in comparison. I was not a fan of this car, and immediately was really disappointed by him. Now that I have him in hand, I can say he's not as bad as I thought, but yikes, that face. That is a bad face. Why are his pupils so big? In person, he really doesn't look as bad, and I was kind of taken away by just how great all of his details look, but there's something else odd about him. Mater's eyelids aren't the only part of him that are a lighter color. All of Mater is. This Mater is interesting and strangely different from other Maters, as it uses a very different color scheme in an attempt to be a bit more accurate to the lighter brown that Mater actually is in the Cars series compared to the sort of darker brown they've used for the diecast. While I've never had a problem with the brown color scheme for Mater, Thailand for the past few years has been making their Maters with slightly lighter colors. This is a Thailand Mater versus a Made in China Mater. And while I think both of these are accurate, Mater does have a bit of a lighter brown color around his mouth and his eyes, which is what they're trying to emulate here, and I've also heard they do something similar on Cryptid Buster Mater. I really don't know how to feel about this. This is a big change to suddenly randomly introduce on new Mater variants, and while it is nice for them to try to be a bit more accurate, there was nothing wrong with the color schemes on older Maters, and honestly, having much lighter colors on part of Mater and much darker on other parts makes him look really jarring and just kinda strange. Anyway guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Road Rumbler Mater from the 2023 Cars diecast line. So let's get started. We got some nice artwork for Mater there, complete with his flamethrower and the mace on him. Such a fun variant. As seen in Cars on the Road, we got Adam Rodriguez, Mateo, the West Philanthropist, Nile Speedcone, Quadratorchosaur, and Griswold. Of these, I've only reviewed Nile Speedcone, who I reviewed the other day, and of course Griswold, who I got at the end of last year. Now this Mater is honestly really interesting to me, and I'm still not the biggest fan of that face. That face is just, it's not very good, is it? It's really rough. It's really rough, and yeah, the weird coloration on this Mater certainly doesn't help. This is way too light versus way too dark on the rest of him. This just straight up isn't what Mater's color scheme is. Sort of looks like that here because of the shading, I guess, because of how light is hitting Mater. It's almost like they saw this image and were like, oh, these parts of Mater are light and the rest is dark. And it's like, that's not true. That's just, that isn't true. Yeah, I don't really like how this looks. I mean, I don't mind them attempting to sort of enhance the colors on Mater, but this looks bad. This looks pretty rough. I mean, honestly, there is a part of it I really appreciate. Again, them trying to give Mater some more accurate colors, but if they're going to be this light versus this dark, just please don't continue doing this. Yeah, Mater's my favorite Cars character to collect, so I don't know. I don't really like if this is what they're going to keep on going with. Again, I've heard Cryptid Buster Mater does something similar with the colors, and I think I'd be a lot more open to these little slight color changes, if he had a face that didn't look like he was, hanging out at the back of Fillmore's drinking some organic fuel he probably shouldn't be. Anyway, he is a very well-detailed car. If I could look past the fact that I really don't like his color scheme or facial expression, you could tell that he really is exquisitely molded. Look at that flamethrower. This looks like something out of like a Star Wars figure. Unfortunately, it isn't on a hinge, but man, really good detailing. Great weathering detailing. The Mater is fully metal like all Made in Thailand Maters. The studs are really great. The hood is painted in so dark you could barely see any details on it. Sorry, I have to stop complaining about the color, but yeah, that really is a big issue I have with this. That is way too dark. We got more studs on the side. Even the blue on him is different, and it looks so artificial, so like, It feels like they just took a screenshot of what color Mater's supposed to be and just expanded it across the side of him. I don't know, it just doesn't translate into toy form well. We do have some nice sort of weathering with the paint there. Again, we'll have to see if this is just sort of a one-off or two-off thing. I've got a feeling they'll just switch back to normal Mater designs soon, you know. And this Mater and Cryptid Buster Mater both use new molds, so I'm sure when we, again, get back to more Maters that just use normal Maters, I assume they'll revert back to the color scheme. I feel like this is going to be just some sort of weird one-off, two-off event that everyone's going to freak out at because, oh no, they changed Mater, and then, you know, he's going to immediately go back, and then these will look like weird outliers in the Cars diecast line, because that always happens, doesn't it? All these studs are really nicely detailed. The mace is really fun back here, with the tow cable, of course, which, with this different color scheme for Mater, looks completely out of place. Yeah, we've got his license plate on... Where's the license plate? Okay, so we don't have his license plate on the back. We do have some studs there. I assume that's accurate to the episode, which is honestly pretty funny. I like the concept that Mater's in the apocalypse, so they remove his license plate. You know, a form of identification. No, this is his identification. The flamethrower, the giant bugle horn or whatever that is, the mace. This is how you know it's Mater. We got the blue wheel over here. Even that has a slight change in color. And again, we have this horn. And finally, there is a look at the base. So yeah, pretty mixed on this Mater. The molding, the detailing is exquisite. It's really, really well done. Just like Rumbler McQueen, Cave McQueen, the other on-the-road variants of McQueen we've been getting. This is such a well-molded and well-detailed Mater, but I just can't get past how bad the expression is and how just sort of off the color scheme is. But hey, again, it's just a one-time thing for this Mater. So yeah, it's just a shame because this Mater would be really, really great if only his eyes didn't look like that, and if only his color scheme was a little bit better. They're close to getting a very accurate Mater look, but again, some parts are too light, some parts are too dark. I'm all for Mater trying to be a bit more accurate in color scheme than sort of one uniform brown color, but this ain't it, Chief. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.